So today I would like to chat to you guys about home education. So I quite often get questions asking me about like how I got into home educating my daughter, and like just what's it all about, how do you do it, do you need qualifications, do you have to follow a curriculum, and all these sorts of things. So I'd just like to discuss some of these now with you, just so you can have an idea of what sort of thing I do, and so you might be able to just take on some information and maybe apply it to what works for you. So basically I got into home education, I home educate my 5-year-old daughter, Molly, and basically I got into it because it had got to school time with her.
And I home educate her.
So cute. Yeah, it got to about school age, where I was going to be putting her into reception, and I actually got her into the school that I wanted to get her in. I was looking at like the policies and procedures on all of the schools in my area, and most of them I was like completely disagreed with what they did. I've always done kind of attachment parenting, gentle parenting with my daughter, and I know schooling systems usually they do a lot of like punishments and things like that, and one school in particular did where they took away golden time and things, which is
What's
like
golden time?
golden time is like the children's time to play and do what they want. It's like their unstructured playtime. So that's really useful for children to harness their creativity, to explore who they are. And
Mama,
yes, my love?
I always have golden time.
You do always have golden time. And that's how I believe that children function best, when they're kind of free to flow and, you know, do what they enjoy. So when I read the school policies like that, I was obviously very put off. I didn't really agree with them. I didn't want her to go from this place where she doesn't get punishments and where we explore her feelings and I allow her feelings, to a place where, because there's so many children in a classroom, and because, you know, it's just, that's the situation. Like, I do understand that when you've got 30 children to one teacher, you need to find a way to control them, basically, because otherwise they're all just going to be running around everywhere. Like, I understand that, but at the same time, I still didn't want that to be, I didn't want that rule to have to be for my daughter. I thought, well, if I could be there one-on-one for her, maybe, you know, that's a more natural situation where I've got the time to talk to her about her feelings, you know. I understand when you've got 30 children, you don't have time to talk to every single one individually. Like, I know that. But, yeah, so after reading a lot of that, I was very put off. In general, like, my daughter went to nursery when she was 3, and that was really difficult. And a bit 4. And that was really difficult for both of us. My daughter didn't like us being separated. I didn't really like us being separated a lot. She was still quite young.
And once at PE, I just was crying because I wanted to see my mother.
And I think 3 is a bit young. I think if you went to somewhere like nursery now, you would love it. You would have no worries about being like, bye, Mum, you know. But
you wouldn't.
Oh, I still miss you, but it's okay. It's nice to have time where I can get work done, isn't it? And then you can play with your
I've got an
friends.
idea. That we take a picture of each other before I go to nursery.
Take a picture around with each other.
No, I take a picture. We take a picture. So you remember me.
Oh, I never forget you anyway.
So that you don't miss me.
But it's this I miss. Can't have a picture playing in my hair. And we had a lot of trouble with nursery anyway, because it was just a very difficult time. The teachers, they kind of like a lot of times when my daughter was upset and wanted me, I wanted to be there for her, and sometimes they would like physically stand between us and be like, you're making this harder and stuff to me. And I didn't like that, basically. It's like, I know what my child wants and needs, and like, don't stand between me and her. Like, it's just not cool. And so things like that happened, which really upset me, and the teachers would say things to me like, you have to do this because otherwise it's going to be so hard for when she starts school. So I was thinking, well, what if she doesn't have to start school? What if I don't have to, break our bond in this way because she's got to go to school in a little bit? What if she doesn't have to go to school, So in the back of my mind, there was this idea of home education, although I didn't actually understand what it entailed. I hadn't researched it or anything. But in the back of my mind, I did consider it as an option. But then it was when school time really started coming around, I had this knot in my stomach about it, basically. And I just really, really, really didn't want her to go to school. Like, I don't agree with the schooling system anyway. I don't like how it kind of makes you bow to authority just for the sake of authority. I often don't like the way that
What's authority?
Someone who is supposed to be kind of more knowledgeable, or your boss or something. So I didn't really like that, and I didn't want those things to be put in place. It's even the case of like, I don't like how children have to ask to go to the toilet, and they're not allowed to eat when they want to eat. They have to get up really early. They're not allowed to wear what they want to wear, and it's just lots of different things that I don't really like. So there was loads of things about the schooling system I disagreed with, and I actually jumped through all the hoops to get her into the school that I wanted, the school that had the best policies and things like that, which were a lot more gentle parenting centred. But still, it wasn't ideal at all. And I actually went through all the procedures, got her into the school, and then it came to the day where she was going to have her practice day, and I was just like, it just feels wrong. It just feels wrong. Like, I just have a knot in my stomach, and it just feels wrong. So what I did was I went on to, it was actually amazing, actually. I was like really considering home educating, sitting on the grass outside when we had just been to the school to hand in a letter. And I was thinking, I don't want to do this. Like, I want to home educate. And I just imagined us home educating. And I looked at my phone, and it said 1111. And I'd just been told by my friend that kind of means that, like, if that happens, to think about what you were thinking in that moment, because what you were thinking in that moment was most likely something you should follow, like following the white rabbit type thing. So that was something to consider. But then after that, I was kind of like, okay, I'm actually going to start looking into this, because I was like going to bed crying, having a knot in my stomach and stuff.
Do you know what I did to make you pay attention?
What? Oh, I see.
that time when I was just crying on a chair, wishing for I just really wanted to go home, and they just called you and took me back home in the middle.
Yeah, I came and picked you up, didn't I?
Yeah.
And then they got upset with me and told me I shouldn't have taken you home. It's so weird. But yeah. So after that, I just started researching it more. I looked into all the different types of home education you could do. And there are different structures. So some families do like a very structured approach, and you may wish to follow a curriculum if you really want to. You don't have to follow a curriculum, basically. And you can do like a semi-structured, or you could do like a completely autonomous, which is where the child just leads everything, and that even falls into the realm of unschooling. And unschooling is basically where you let the child lead completely, and what I did was I kind of found different families I actually went on Facebook and I looked up some local home ed groups and stuff, and I joined them. And then I just put a message out saying, I really need to speak to some families. Can I please meet up with some families? I want to see how home ed works and just chat to you. So I did that, and I met with a couple of families. And the first family, they did things very structured. And then the second family, they actually did things very more autonomous, kind of with a touch of semi-structure and stuff like that. And it was the semi-structured that was really, really like, wow, like that hit me. When I saw the children, and they just looked like really free and happy and just doing what they wanted, and that's what that's what kind of just, like, my heart was like singing. It was like going, that's what I want, that's what I believe in, that makes sense to me, that's it. And I could visualise me and my daughter doing that. And that's when I knew, and I was like, this is what I'm meant to be doing. Like, this is what will work for us. I know it. Like, there's no way my heart feels like this for this, you know. And it was just like, this just makes sense to me. Like, I just love the way that you do it. And actually seeing a family doing it and speaking to them and hearing how their values were the same as my values, and, you know, how they were making it work. Like, she had like 3 children and was pregnant and was making it all work. And I was just completely like just in awe of her, and just like, wow, like so inspired, and like this just makes sense to me. So it was from that point I was like, I think I'm gonna do it. And yeah, so that's kind of what we do. We do like a semi-structured approach. So what I do personally, and what I find works really well for me and my daughter, is she leads the interests, but I structure activities around those. So she'll, for example, be really interested in the plague at the moment, and things like that. So what I did was I kind of took her to a museum that was very creepy, and kind of, it was built around... It was an operation museum, and it had a lot of information about like apothecary and stuff like that. So
and there was a room of an operating room.
Yes,
was that, Mum?
there was. So it showed what kind of surgical things and what sort of herbal medicines that they would do around that time, and sores as well. So yeah, it was like, and we also went to the London dungeons and things like that as well to learn about it. And we just we'll just go to the library and get loads of books, do projects and have conversations and watch documentaries all about that sort of thing. So and that's kind of what I find works for us. And like, I'll say to her, I'll be like, so, oh, do you, there's some, like, when clubs come up, because with this, you've got a big home ed community basically in all the different areas of the world. There's usually a group of people who home ed, and I'm quite lucky. There's a really lovely group of home editors in my area, and basically there's always groups going on, clubs going on, like swimming clubs. There's like nature club where you learn about like different science and even meteorology and things like that. There's also like, they're always going on trips, so you go like on Legoland trips, or there are trips to the museums, and trips just all over the place.
And school trips too.
Yeah, and plays. There's always plays to go to in London and things like that. And what the home editors do is they do like a group booking, and then we all get a discount. So it actually makes things affordable. So it's just like absolutely amazing to make things affordable as well. And what's really nice as well, which is a little added bonus, is like there is kind of like when we go to Legoland and things for our home ed trip and things like that, it's not as busy as it would be during the school holidays and things like that. So that's a little added bonus for us. We actually get to go on loads of the different rides and things without queuing very much. So yeah, it's just like, that's what I find works best for me. And like, she's got loads of friends. Like, we go to several different clubs in a week, and she's always seeing people and chatting to people. And I take her food shopping with me, and we learn as we do things. So like when I go food shopping, when we do the fruit shop after her swimming lessons, we do a bit of maths. So I get her to add things up in her basket. I get her to pay, and I'll say like, you know, oh, this costs £7. I have a £5 note and a £10 note. Which one do I give to her? And we do learning as we go. And like, my daughter's learnt how to read just by following her interests with like different books and things. So she'll read like a book because she's interested in it. Like, we were doing meteorology for a long time because she's really interested in tornadoes and things. So we got loads of meteorology books and extreme weather books, and my daughter was learning from them. And because she was really interested in the content, she was learning the different words and learning to read. And my daughter can read now; she can read very well. But we've never actually done any structured reading stuff. We very rarely even do workbooks. Like, sometimes she'll do a few workbooks if she finds them interesting and fancies it. But a lot of time we just play and learn and talk and read and go on trips and play, and it's just like, it's effortless. It really is. Like, we just have fun and just experience the world, as opposed to there's this pressure on learning. And the other thing I love about her following her interests as well is that it keeps learning fun. Because the truth is, when, like, as an adult, when you are learning about something that really interests you, learning is so fun. It's like, it's so exciting. And what I don't like is where there's that pressure in schools that learning is not a fun thing you do. Learning is something you have to do because there's tests and exams and stress. But real learning isn't like that. Real learning is like exciting, you know. So that's what I like doing, and that's kind of how I find it works for us. We don't really follow a curriculum. There's a few basics I like to have covered, like, you know, shapes, and I want her to be able to read and write and all these things, you know. But as per curriculum, I don't follow anything specific. So I hope that answers your questions. Please let me know if there's any other questions on home education or anything that you'd like to know. I'm happy to answer them. And yeah, so if you'd like to see any of our pictures on our home ed adventures, you can join me on my Instagram, which is Happy on Fruit, or my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/happyonfruit. And you can have a look. And I'm also on Facebook as well as facebook.com/holistic parenting UK. That tends to be a lot more child-based, whereas my Happy on Fruit is a lot more fruit-based. But it all meshes well because everything is connected and everything's one. So yeah, do come over and have a little look, and you can see what sort of stuff we get up to. My Instagram especially is very good for having a look at our pictures that we do when we go on our adventures. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, share, subscribe if you found it useful, and to join me on more videos. And thank you for watching. Bye bye.